Sleep now, little hawk. The melody drifted from the darkened doorway, fragile against the Chicago wind. MJ stopped dead. That tune, only his mother sang that. How? Who was this woman? The biting Chicago wind whipped around the corners of the downtown skyscrapers, carrying the scent of roasted nuts and distant traffic. Michael Jordan pulled his collar tighter, walking briskly back towards his hotel after a late dinner meeting. The streets were emptying, the usual bustling energy quieting into a late-night hum. As he passed a recessed doorway, seeking shelter from the wind, he heard it. A low, soft humming. A melody both achingly familiar and startlingly out of place. It was a lullaby. A specific, unique tune. Simple, slightly melancholic, with a distinctive lilting rhythm. Jordan froze mid-stride, the sound triggering an immediate, visceral reaction deep within him. That lullaby. He hadn't heard it in decades, not since his own childhood. It wasn't a famous song, not something from a record or the radio. It was the lullaby his mother, Dolores, used to hum to him, and only to him when he was very young, especially when he was sick or couldn't sleep. "Sleep now, little hawk," she used to murmur along with the tune, a private nickname from his earliest years. How could anyone else possibly know it? He peered into the darkened doorway. Huddled against the cold stone, wrapped in layers of thin blankets and worn clothing, sat a woman. Homeless, clearly. Her face was obscured by shadows and a woolen cap pulled low, but he could see she was older, her frame frail beneath the bulky layers. She wasn't asking for money, wasn't engaging with passers-by. She was simply humming softly to herself, the private, forgotten melody drifting like a phantom memory into the cold night air. Jordan felt a powerful, inexplicable pull. Disbelief warred with an overwhelming sense of nostalgia and confusion. Was he mistaken? Was it just a similar tune? No. The rhythm, the specific melodic intervals. It was exact. His mother's lullaby. He hesitated. Approaching a homeless person late at night in a deserted doorway carried inherent risks. His security instincts screamed caution, but the mystery, the deep personal resonance of that specific song, overrode his usual reserve. He took a tentative step closer. "Excuse me," he began softly, not wanting to startle her. The humming stopped abruptly. The woman looked up, her eyes, visible now in the dim light filtering from the street lamp, widening slightly. They were surprisingly clear, intelligent eyes, though clouded with weariness and perhaps suspicion. "Just admiring the tune," Jordan continued gently, searching for the right words. "That lullaby, it sounded very familiar." The woman didn't reply immediately. She studied his face intently, her expression unreadable in the shadows. Was there a flicker of recognition? Or just wariness towards a stranger approaching her? Precarious shelter? "It's an old song," she finally said, her voice raspy but soft, carrying a hint of a southern accent softened by time or travel. "Just something I remember. Helps keep the cold out sometimes. My mother used to sing that exact tune," Jordan ventured, feeling exposed, vulnerable in a way he rarely did. "A long time ago, when I was a boy." The woman's gaze sharpened. She leaned forward slightly, peering at him more closely. "Your mother?" she whispered, a strange intensity entering her voice. "Dolores?" Hearing his mother's name spoken by this stranger, this homeless woman humming her private lullaby in a Chicago doorway, sent a fresh shockwave through Jordan. How could she possibly know his mother's name? "Yes," Jordan confirmed, his voice tight. "How did you—" The woman leaned back against the cold stone, a long, slow sigh escaping her lips. It wasn't a sigh of despair, but something more complex. Recognition, memory, perhaps regret. "Lord have mercy," she murmured, shaking, her head slowly. "Michael, little Michael Jordan, all grown up." She knew him, not just as the global icon, but as little Michael. This wasn't just coincidence. This was a direct, personal connection from his deepest past, inexplicably resurfacing here, now. This was the midpoint, the revelation that this homeless woman not only knew his mother's unique lullaby but knew him from childhood, knew his mother by name. It shattered the frame of a simple, albeit mysterious encounter, transforming it into a profound collision with his own forgotten history. Who was she? And how did she possess such intimate knowledge from decades ago? "Who are you?" Jordan asked, the question filled with urgent need. "How do you know my mother? Know that song?" The woman pulled her thin blankets tighter around her shoulders, seeming to retreat into herself for a moment. "Name's Clara May," she said finally, her voice regaining some of its earlier softness. "Clara May Johnson. Though folks mostly just called me Clara back then." Clara May Johnson. The name didn't immediately register. Jordan searched his memory, focusing on his early childhood in Wilmington, North Carolina. The faces, the neighbors, the people who moved through the periphery of his young life. "I worked for your family," Clara May continued quietly, seeing his lack of recognition. "For a few years, back when you were just a little fella, maybe 4, 5 years old. Helped your mother around the house, cleaning, laundry, watching you. Sometimes when she had errands to run. A housekeeper, a helper." Vague images began to surface in Jordan's mind. A kind face, gentle hands, someone present but unobtrusive in the background of his earliest memories. Clara May. Yes. He remembered her now. A quiet, hard-working woman his mother had relied on during a particularly busy period. "I remember you," Jordan breathed, the pieces clicking into place. "You were always humming." Clara May offered a faint, sad smile. "Music helps the work go by," she murmured. "And your mama, she taught me that lullaby. Said it always calmed you right down, Little Hawk." Little Hawk, the forgotten nickname. Hearing it spoken aloud by Clara May after nearly 50 years felt like unlocking a hidden room in his memory. "She was good to me, your mother," Clara May continued, her gaze distant. "Treated me fair, taught me things." "What happened?" Jordan asked softly. "Why did you leave? How did you end up here?" Clara May sighed again, the sound heavy with unspoken hardship. "Life takes turns, Michael," she said vaguely. "My husband got sick back then, needed care. We had to move away suddenly. Went up north for factory work. One thing led to another. Bad luck, bad choices maybe, hard times." Her voice trailed off, unwilling or unable to recount the specific chain of events that led from working in the Jordans' warm Wilmington home to huddling in a cold Chicago doorway decades later. "But I never forgot your family," she added softly. "Never forgot Dolores's kindness, or that lullaby." The hidden truth lay bare. The homeless woman wasn't just a stranger. She was Clara May, a former employee, a forgotten figure from his earliest childhood carrying intimate memories. The lullaby, the nickname, that even Jordan himself had largely buried. She was a living link to his roots, a testament to the enduring impact of his mother's kindness, now tragically adrift in the harsh reality of homelessness. Jordan felt a powerful wave of conflicting emotions: nostalgia, sadness, deep regret for the hardships Clara May had clearly endured, and a sense of profound responsibility. This wasn't just a random encounter. It felt like fate, an opportunity, to repay a kindness, however small, offered to his family decades ago. "Clara May," Jordan began, his voice thick with emotion. This isn't right. You shouldn't be out here." He knew offering cash wasn't enough. This required more. Just as he had done for Pops Washington and Charlotte, he needed to offer real help, a pathway out of this situation. "Let me help you," he urged gently but firmly. "A warm place to stay tonight, a proper meal. We can talk tomorrow, figure out resources, options." You took care of my family once. Let me return the favor now." Clara May looked up at him, tears glistening in her surprisingly clear eyes. She saw the sincerity, the genuine concern replacing the initial shock. She saw little Michael, now a global icon, offering a hand back across the vast gulf of years and circumstances. After a long, hesitant moment, during which the sounds of the city seemed to fade away, leaving only the sighing wind and the echo of a forgotten lullaby, Clara May gave a slow, trembling nod. "Okay, Michael," she whispered, the acceptance fragile, but real. "Okay." Jordan carefully helped her to her feet, struck by her lightness, her frailty. He signaled to his waiting driver and security, instructing them discreetly. He ensured Clara May was treated with dignity and respect, settled into a warm, safe hotel room for the night, with arrangements made for food, clean clothes, and a follow-up meeting the next day with social workers connected to his foundation, who specialized in helping the homeless, particularly seniors. As he finally headed back to his own hotel, the melody of the lullaby echoed in his mind, no longer just a half-forgotten tune, but a powerful symbol of hidden connections, enduring memories, and the unexpected ways the past can resurface, offering chances for compassion and redemption even decades later. The homeless woman humming in the doorway held more than just a memory. She held a piece of his own history, reminding him of his roots and the quiet kindnesses that shape us all. How many forgotten connections and untold stories walk among us, hidden within the lives of those we overlook or dismiss? What power do simple acts of kindness, like teaching someone a lullaby, have to resonate through decades and bridge vast differences in circumstance? Share your thoughts on memory, kindness, and unexpected reunions in the comments, and subscribe for more stories where the past reveals profound truths in the present.